you so much. And I have to tell you, I love these storytelling hours. I absolutely love them. I've never told a story in one of them, so tonight I was like, what the heck, I'll tell a story. So, I'm going to tell a story tonight about the urban to rural transition, bike riding, drinking, and love. And it's going to be clean. I'll just say that. Yeah? Because you never know where you're going to go with that, sort of, those things. So, some of you may know, I was in the Peace Corps in Paraguay. And there's this thing in Peace Corps that whenever the new volunteers show up, there's like volunteers transition in and out. Whenever the new volunteers come out, most of the other volunteers go to the capital city to check out the new volunteers that arrive, to find out, who are the cute ones. And I will admit, I did not participate in that activity usually. But I had another volunteer that lived in the same site that I lived in. We lived in a city called Orqueta. We called it a city in Paraguay. It was only 10,000 people, but by Paraguay standards, that was a city. So I sort of had an intel person, because she would always go and check out the new volunteers, and then she'd come back and tell me about it. So this one time she comes back and she's like, Chris, there's this new volunteer. I think you're really going to like her. Her name is Najgali. I'm like, wow, she sounds really interesting. So fast forward through a few weeks, right? And in Peace Corps, whenever a volunteer leaves to go back to the United States, they always throw a big party. It's called a despedida. And all the volunteers in that region of the country will go, as well as all the folks who live in that community will go. So it's this big blowout party. So my friend Sarah, who was the other person who lived in my site, and I said, well, we're going to go. And our friend Ruben, who's a Paraguayan, was going to go with us, and we said, we're going to ride our bikes, because that's the only mode of transportation, other than walking, that we were allowed to take part in as a Peace Corps volunteer. And it was about a 15-mile ride, so it's doable. We did that a lot. And it's, you're moving from the city, from the paved roads to the dirt roads out to this community. And we said, we're going to make this interesting, and we're going to turn it into a bar crawl. So every bar we pass on the way, we're going to stop and we're going to get a beer. And the beers in Paraguay, when you go order a beer, you don't get a little can of beer, you get a liter. We're like, but that's fine, there's 3 of us who split a liter at every bar. Probably won't be a few bars. What we forgot is that when you get out of the city into the rural area, every house is a bar, because everybody sells beer out of their house, right? So, needless to say, it took us a little bit longer to ride this 15 miles than it normally would. So we're stopping at every house, we're meeting everybody on the way, because we're sitting and we're having a beer in their front yard, basically. And then it starts raining. And at this point, it's all dirt roads. So we're like, well, this is going to be interesting. And it starts to get dark. So we end up riding, after many, many drinks, in the mud, in the dark, and we show up, covered in mud. Needless to say, we had probably a few too many drinks, and I see her. I see Najgali, and I say, wow, she really is beautiful. And I walk up to her, covered in mud, with a headlamp on. And I blind her with my headlamp, because I've been riding in the dark. And I say, you must be Najgali. And she says, my name's not Najgali, it's Nayeli. And I say, oh, okay. So the night kind of goes on with that, like that way, little, more clumsy activities on my part. And at the end of the night, we were going to sleep there, because we weren't going to ride 15 miles back in the middle of the night. So I decided, the best place, the most comfortable place for me to sleep is going to be that patch of grass right there. So I'll sleep there. So I sleep there, I wake up the next morning, and there's a pig staring me in the face. And I'm like, this pretty much just sums up my whole experience. But I would like to say that 17 years later, the woman whose name I thought was Najgali is my wife of 10 years and the mother of my 2